you guys are all ready.
下面的同学这样。
Yes, he's on the phone, but we can get started.
Yeah? Okay.
Okay. So thank you so much for having us. We're going to just go through 3 different developments, kicking off the Boulevard Q that launched last night. So it really needs no introduction. Mattamy Homes is the developer. I'm sure you all know Mattamy. It's the largest privately owned home builder in North America and Canada's largest new home construction and development firm. They've been in business for over 45 years. So really a leading developer in the industry. In terms of the pipeline of Mattamy, you know, huge developer with over 14,000 units in the pipeline and growing. So, you know, they've got a number of developments. I'm sure you've seen. The one we're talking about is Boulevard Q, which is 935 the Queensway.
Those are high rise, right? High rise or low rise? Like the pipeline, are they for high rise project?
It's a mix, mid to high rise, yeah.
So Mattamy Urban is their new high-rise division because Mattamy was just everything, mostly low-rise, right?
Yeah.
So now, yeah, their pipeline is more
So those projects are all with you guys? Austin Birch?
No. At the moment, Boulevard Q is the only one we're doing with Mattamy at the moment, yeah.
Okay.
In terms of the team, so myself and Hugh Yen are from Austin Birch. We're the sales and marketing agency that represent the developer, and we'll talk you through 3 developments. They're also working with this development. It's going to be with Tact Architecture, Gladstone Media, and Mason Interior Design firm as well. So really quality, high-end partners in the construction industry. So in terms of Etobicoke, where this development will be based, it's really a neighbourhood that's poised for growth. I think the main stat here, the main point here, is that Etobicoke is the second largest employment zone in the country, with more jobs in the central business districts in Montreal, Vancouver, and Calgary. So I think that's a really key point here to take away. We know obviously it's between the 2 largest cities in Ontario, Toronto and Mississauga, and it is poised to, for growth with a population growth of 30% by 2030. Just in terms of, in terms of, and I'll go through the neighbourhood in the next slide, but residents can certainly enjoy the proximity of access to the TTC and the GO Transit and a number of major highways as well. So in terms of Etobicoke and the location of Boulevard Q, it really is a connected city. We talk about the 15-minute city, and Boulevard Q will be positioned around 15 minutes, 12 minutes to Bloor-Go, 13 minutes to Pearson Airport, 14 minutes to Billy Bishop Airport, and 16 minutes to downtown Toronto. Also super close to a number of shops in the area and retail spaces. And then green areas is just hugely important for families. 5 minutes to Hyde Park, 5 minutes to Humber Bay, 8 minutes to Humber Marshes, 7 minutes to the golf club, 12 minutes to Kings Mill Park, and to James's Gardens as well. So really great location there.
How many minutes walk to the subway station? It's eastern to the subway station, right?
It is to the subway, it is 12 minutes.
By walk?
No, that's drive.
That's right.
Yeah.
To which subway station?
Bloor.
Bloor. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Beyond the Bloor, that Bloor.
Pardon?
The Bloor subway station.
Oh, the
Yeah.
subway, that's the Bloor Go. I think I have it in another slide, so I'll just go through that in a sec. Yeah. So it's 935 the Queensway is the address. Some of the other points of interest nearby. We've got retail, parks and recreation, schools, cafes and restaurants, and transit as well. So I think I've got it here.
So
Islington
7
Station.
minutes to Kip, and
Yeah.
then 7 minutes to Kipling Station as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, by car. Yep. A 1 minute walk to the TTC. In answer to your question, yeah. So 1 minute walk. So extremely connected. So just onto the building then, the building itself, the development. So there'll be 210 suites, all with balconies or terraces, beautifully designed by Mason Studios. There'll be studio suites, 1, 2 and 3 bedrooms, 2-story townhouses that will also have access to all the amenities, an extensive amenity spaces across 3 floors. And then there'll be ground floor retail designed spaces as well, and each unit will have 9-foot ceilings. And of course there'll be smart home features throughout. Here's a beautiful rendering just of the exterior of the building with views out east to the city. Here's another rendering of the cafe and the retail spaces down on the ground floor. And you'll see just over there as well some of the 2-story townhouses. In terms of the amenities, there'll be concierge services, there'll be parcel storage, pet spas, co-working spaces, event space, fitness center, yoga studio, outdoor terrace, social lounge, and entertainment lounge as well. I'll go into some of these images in a bit more detail. So really beautiful lobby entranceway. It's the interiors by Mason Studios. Fitness center, state-of-the-art fitness center. Beautiful entertainment spaces. And then the rooftop amenities as well. So beautiful views out to the east. And again, these are some of the beautiful light-filled suites you'll see with huge terraces and balconies. Some of the interior shots. And then just wrapping up this one, in terms of the top 3 reasons to buy at Boulevard Q. The number 1 being Mattamy, the fact that they are the largest privately owned residential builder in Canada, and you have full security in buying with this developer. It's positioned in a location that's certainly poised for growth, with huge population growth in the pipeline. And then the pricing and incentives, we'll be able to share that with you after the meeting today. So we launched obviously last night, and we'll share all that information in terms of the pricing and incentives, and share all those links with you. Our colleagues weren't able to make it today who look after this. They're currently there. We just launched last night, so they're there at the sales centre at the moment. So we'll put you in touch with Val and Oksana for their details. So there is a presentation gallery. You're welcome to go by there and bring your clients, and we can talk through all the finishes and everything like that from there. Any questions on Boulevard Q?
So Sue, you know Mattamy, when the portal links are provided following the launch, because now you can of course see like the pricing per unit, everything from like the actual floor plans. The competitive pricing aspect is really what Mattamy is known for, right? Pretty much in every region, every market. So even for, their newer division of like the urban, which is their high-rise, many which are like mid-rise types of properties, you'll see a competitive. So what we've seen on average PSF right now that's been released is, about 1175, right? So that's what it's looking like on average for the building. Incentives that you'll see in the portal that you'll note, I would say to your clients, $0 development charges. So that's the key incentive Deposit is great. Basically, your 10% in your first year and a half. Following that, the 5% will be on occupancy. So those are going to be the key aspects of their incentives. So you'll get the portal on that, and then Sarah will share our next project lineup, not launching next week.
And is it commission 4% on this one? Is that
Pardon?
4% commission on this one?
Yes.
So this one is
3%.
3%.
Yeah.
Yes, so that will be in the documents as well. So Mattamy is usually a bit different from some of the other condo developers'
Yeah.
staple of being, let's say, 4 at launch stage, right?
Right.
But I think the pricing in itself will be the incentive for most purchasers.
Okay, on to the next one. I'm excited to tell you about this one because I'll be based at this presentation gallery in Liberty Village. So 8 Temple is the address. It's 8 Temple Avenue in Liberty Village. Just Liberty West, so just not right quite in the center of Liberty Village. I'd love to tell you now about the developer. Developer is Curated Properties. So they've been in business for over 30 years. Really good quality developer. They've worked on the plant which was built a couple of years ago. We're still selling Accra. It's just received its demolition and shoring permits, and we're at almost 80% sold in that building. So that will actually begin construction this fall. It's up in Young and Eglinton. And they've got fantastic developments in the pipeline. Veneta, which we'll be selling from next year. That's also coming up. So really quality developer, and I'll just show you a couple of the partners that they work with. Wellness, well-being, health is really important to these developers. They don't want to just throw up huge buildings. They're all about kind of mid-rise buildings, low to mid-rise buildings, and working with partners like Chappie Chapo Design, world-renowned interior design firm. They've worked on, the Four Seasons private residences, the St. Regis, Dominican Republic, and the Ritz-Carlton in Mexico City. This is a beautiful rendering of the exterior of the building. Some of the taglines you might have seen on our social media, a modern sanctuary rising. And you'll see why in the next couple of slides. So in terms of the location, it's on Dufferin and Temple, and I suppose if you just go slightly north, the main intersection is King. Okay, so there is a streetcar that comes right past the door of 8 Temple. I live in the neighbourhood, so I'm very passionate about this area and about this development. You've got Exhibition Place very nearby. You've got the Budweiser stage, BMO, all those big sports and music arenas really close by in walking distance. So a really thriving and energetic area. You'll see here the location of 8 Temple, so super close to all the entertainment district, a short drive to Billy Bishop Airport, and super accessible into downtown Toronto. I'll show you some of the connectivity stats here as well. So we've got a transit score of 92, a walk score of 93, and a bike score of 84. I cycle all around the city. I don't own a car, so I can stand by this in terms of getting around the city from Liberty Village. It's super convenient. So Exhibition Station, it's only a 5-minute walk or 2-minute cycle. Lake Ontario is a 7-minute walk. Gardner Expressway, 2 minutes. As I mentioned, it's just west of Liberty Village. It's a 4-minute walk into Liberty Village. Billy Bishop Airport, 7 minutes. BMO Field, 7-minute walk. Union Station, you can get the train from Exhibition, and it's only 5 minutes into downtown Toronto. And Pearson Airport, just 16-minute drive. This developer, really does look at areas that already are developed as such. So, they know that 20 billion of infrastructure is going into Ontario Place and the future Ontario line. So you'll see here a couple of visuals here of that's the new Ontario line, and some renderings for Therm Canada. So Therm Canada have a great website with a video actually if you want to take a look after this, that showcases all the features and what they're going to do down there. It's already under construction. They're going to have a wellness, a spa, picnic area, kayaking, cycling and walking trails, playgrounds, public parks and festivals, and that's a beautiful image there of what that's going to look like. And in terms of the building itself, this visual here on the left is the arched doorway into the building. There'll be 15 stories, 246 suites, all with large balconies and terraces. There'll be signature amenities on the entire rooftop. You know, again, going back to this developer cares a lot about its residents and who's going to be living in the space. Instead of putting a penthouse apartment, they've dedicated the entire rooftop to that. There'll be 24-hour concierge, 9, 10 and 11 foot ceilings. There's also optional pantry, linen closets and islands. The other development that we're selling at the moment, which is Accra by Curated Properties, every single purchaser has opted in for the pantry. The in-suite concierge storage closets is quite a new concept. It's essentially a closet that's on the exterior of the condo. So you'll have your front condo door, and then next to it you've got a separate storage area that you can use for strollers or Amazon deliveries, etc. So that's also an option as well for the condos. You know, a lot of research was done in terms of size of units and what people are looking for. There is no studio, so it starts from a 1 bed from 447 right up to 3 beds at 1351 square feet. Of course, there'll be smart home features throughout, and that'll be state-of-the-art smart home technology when the building is ready for occupancy around 2027. Here's some more beautiful renderings of the interiors in the lobby, some lovely curved walls and archways throughout, and beautiful furniture at the concierge desk. This visual looking out east towards the city, and you'll see here a pickleball court, and I'll show you a few more visuals of that. So pretty sure it's the first ever rooftop pickleball court in Canada, if not North America. And you'll see here some of the strength and conditioning area as well. This is a top-down view of the exceptional amenity space on the rooftop. The entire rooftop dedicated. So, you know, if you've got a buyer or client interested and, you know, they're on the, you know, first, second, third floors, and, you know, they don't have enough of a balcony, even though the balconies are huge, they can make use of the entire rooftop space and get those views out across the city and over to the lake shore. The rooftop will include indoor, outdoor, professional grade kitchen, a fitness centre, strength and conditioning area, the pickleball court, an outdoor theatre, relaxation and dining area, outdoor private event space. There'll be 2 saunas with views out to the lake shore, outdoor shower, sky lounge, and private dining and social room as well. And this is some of the views that you get while you do your workouts in the day. And this is the view. So beautiful glass back to the sauna. There'll be 2 of them for use on the rooftop. So really, really exceptional design by this developer. This is there'll be a pizza oven and, you know, professional grade kitchen. You can bring in your own private chef for events. Of course, the World Cup's coming to Canada soon, and, you know, why not make use of the outdoor space in the media room as well on the rooftop. Here's some beautiful corner units. You'll see at the wraparound balcony there, and the interiors with the island upgrade as well. Another view south over to the lake shore, and you'll see in this image there all the low rise in front. You know, there's nothing obstructing your views. This is an actual drone shot that we took, so you can see what the views are from the 10th floor. So as you can see, there's nothing being zoned in this area for any other high-rise as yet. So you know, beautiful views unobstructed out to the lake. And then these are your east views over to the city skyline. You can see the stunning CN Tower. And then I might just hold here for a second. This is the key plate. So you'll see all the 2 bedrooms mostly at the front. Really, that's you know, most of our buyers want to have the 2 beds. They're living there with their balconies, and every single unit has a balcony as well, and a really decent sized balcony. And probably one of the most important slides is the average PSF. So we've got 1375 average PSF for this development. So extremely competitive. Considering you can get to downtown Toronto in 5 minutes, you know, super accessible if you just compare it to some of the other price points for PSFs that have been launched recently. So my name is Sarah Murphy. I'll be based at the Presentation Gallery in Liberty Village, which is just next to the Brazen Head or near the BMO. It'll be ready in the first week of October, around the 3rd of October. The Presentation Gallery will be ready. We have our event kicking off, our event launch kicking off next Wednesday, 27th. So we'd love for you guys to come along to that. There'll be a lot more information shared at that event next week. There's lots of free parking there as well, by the way, if you're coming along with your clients. So just some key dates, as I mentioned, 27th is the launch event, and then we should be, our open house, those dates which have been pushed out. This developer really wants everything to be perfect before they open, so it should be ready by about 3rd of October. And that is everything from me on 8 Temple. If you have any questions, I'll give you, thank you very much. I'll give you my details. If you have any questions, we'll stay in touch, and I'll pass you over to Huyen for the next project. Okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
So yes, you can see chronologically we have a great lineup of projects all the way spanning from west to east, and you'll see that progression within pricing as well. So Q Tower, do you all know Q Tower, where it's located? So yes, this logo is basically the infamous image that you've seen across the city. So there's going to be a series of events and invitations that you guys will be receiving. This launch will be taking place for October 12th. So we have a little bit of time, but we're going to do the preview. This is a great photo of the podium. So this is really the most photographed image that you will see for Toronto, downtown Toronto, and really nationwide in Canada. Q Tower is going to be poised right in the middle of that, right? Close, similar proximity to CN Tower, then Rogers Centre, to your Ripley's Aquarium, all within walking distance, within 5 minutes. So really the location is unbeatable for prime downtown Toronto, truly an iconic landmark location, and you're going to hear me say that quite a bit. So the location in itself is basically going to be the most famous image in the nation. So the developers that are bringing this to you, I know, between Sue and your extended team, you've been selling, real estate and condos really all throughout Toronto, the GTA. So Lifetime, of course, one of the largest high-rise developers in Canada, as well as Diamond Corp. Lifetime, who's brought Bisha Hotel to you, the Yorkville Residences, Four Seasons Hotel. Diamond Corp, who is, we have the Well under construction, right, downtown Toronto as well.
The Well?
So that's a partnering. So as you can see, a lot of the projects are partnering with an actual developer and then a development investment company, right? So I would say, if, for example, like Tridel would be more of the developer. So similarly to Lifetime, right? Because Four Seasons was two partnering developments, right? So Lifetime was one of the key partners to that. So for example, the Well was a combination because they have retail, commercial, residential, there's a few people in the mix, right? Like, Repan, like other names, right? So within these big types of projects, there's always going to be collaborating partners. I know this screen cuts off. But you can trust assured from a branding perspective that you guys all know well, you've walked into some of the buildings that have already been in construction, not only these, right? You see the quality. So two of the largest and most established developers in Canada. So this photo outside of our marketing, which is all really brand new, all the stuff that's being developed for Q Tower, this is an old photo. This was taken over 50 years ago when our federal government identified this to be the most central location in Toronto. So they built that parking garage right there. So we're going to have an invitation that I think I just saw it come out, but the invitation that came out to you, we're actually hosting one final weekend. We were only supposed to have 2 weekends based on the developer's permission, that we're opening one more weekend for the rooftop. Sue, did you actually come up for that event, for the rooftop event?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
so you saw the rooftop. So for the ones that didn't, our key plate of the actual building and the scale, it's made as close to scale as possible, is actually painted on the rooftop. But most importantly, you can see the views, the 360 views. Because what is going to be key about this building is anyone looking to get in for the location is also looking for the views. So you will actually be able to see it live from an 8-floor rooftop. So this will all be completely demolished to build the building. So parking later on when the building is in construction will be all underground levels. So then we'll talk about the parking, we'll talk about all the facilities. But right now it's actually a paid parking facility, revenue generating. We're gonna do it free parking for everyone, you and your clients. But come see the rooftop for the very last weekend, this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So here, this is truly the most central location for Toronto. So this is a photo, this is exactly where the building is going to be. You can see in proximity through a photo, but it looks way better in real life, of course, is the South Lake view. It's just as close to all of our waterfront festivities, like the duck arrival that came last weekend. But certainly being downtown Toronto and selling downtown Toronto, I know you all know that very well, but these are going to be the key highlights. CN Tower, of course, going to be this famous image coming up a lot. So all of our landmarks, right? Scotiabank Arena, CN Tower, Rogers Center, these are all going to be within your 5-minute walking distance. Sugar Beach close by. Union Station, which we'll get into on the next slide. So in terms of the location, really it's not going to get more convenient than this. Perfect transit score. So where we are located is just south of Union Station. So we are not connected to Union Station, but right across the street is going to be your first connection point through 10 York, 1 York, and then of course through the path or above, less than 5 minutes walk to Union Station. Walk score, really you can get anywhere. Restaurants, transit, other points of the connection path right at your doorstep. And a high bike score, so you're right off of the waterfront, so certainly there are going to be areas that are enjoyed, from a walking perspective or from even a boating perspective to get out to Toronto Island. So a high bike score. So the remainder of the project team, so not only the developers, but of course our architects and our interior designers, also bringing you the landmark buildings of downtown Toronto, right? Wallman Architects that brought you 10 York across the street. M2M that will be coming, right? So big master plan communities coming to North York. Scala, right, coming to North York as well, or actually already here in North York, but you can actually see and appreciate the quality of the features and finishes. An iconic artist, so an internationally renowned artist, Michael Mobius. You might have seen his face, and most importantly, his art being featured all throughout downtown Toronto right now. He's on an international press tour, so right now Toronto is his current stop. But his art is actually going to be featured and included in this building and in the amenities. So the most famous one that you probably see is Queen Elizabeth II blowing up the bubble gum. It's just a fun, vibrant, I would say, theme that's going to be going throughout the building. So very renowned art. So this is going to be owned by the developers. They will insure it. It does not need to be absorbed into the maintenance fees, but really great that internationally renowned art is going to be included in this building. So these photos, of course, will be consistent images that you will be seeing throughout. We will have a lot more photos. You have the portable, we'll be sharing it as things get added to it. So the key highlights, it's going to be one tower. I think, in a lot of Google searches, when you'll see in some of the site maps that we shared, originally it was meant to be 2 towers. So the final design will incorporate 1 tower, 60 stories, 902 suites in the upper typical tower, which will be launching for October the 12th. Over 27,000 square feet of course, world-class amenities. Like I said, these are the developers that brought Four Seasons Hotel, Bisha Hotel to you, so of course the best and most thoughtful amenities. Everything from, you'll have more information on this following today, but indoor and outdoor, all elements, fitness, dining, kids zone, theater, co-working spaces, all of these will have, really the best of the best options, indoor and outdoor. 24-hour concierge, of course, core share. So downtown Toronto, certainly not in all buildings, but the best of the buildings will have your grand lobby, entryway, covered passenger entry and drop off. Similarly to some of the buildings off Harbor Street, right? So, but a very grand entrance will be developed for this. 9-foot ceilings throughout all the residential units. Of course, our world-class art by Michael Mobius. And most importantly, for certainly more expanded information will be offered for this as we approach launch date, occupancy for 2030. So for everything that's come out this year, this is probably the most extended timeline in terms of occupancy from the time of launch. So given everything considered in the marketplace, and interest rates, pricing, all of that, this truly will give you and your clients really the most extensive timeline at this moment from an occupancy standpoint. And certainly we know there's probably an opportunity for this to get, extended a little bit, right, based on condo development timelines. But this is very generous. And you tell me, based on feedback, if this is favorable for your clients, right? I think in all the views and all the mixes of considerations that have gone into this, this is truly favorable for purchasers and investors to have this long closing. But certainly deposits and all of that will be shared in the coming week or two. Okay, so 2030. So this image is what you probably saw one of the images painted on the rooftop. So this is your upper typical tower, that red portion. The extended gray portion is going to be the podium floors. So ground level to the 6th floor, there will be 3 levels of where the amenities are located, in addition to, of course, our lobby and our mail and parcel room. Within this proximity, so right now, the exact address for this building is 200 Queens Quay West. That is the address of this condominium. And right now, in the public parking garage, the structure that's up, your entry into that garage is through Lower Simcoe. So it will likely be similar in the sense that they will come up this way or through an entry point of Queens Quay West, have a wraparound, and the parking garage entry will be on the east side, closer to York Street. So it will offer a convenience of the flow of traffic going back out into Harbor Street, going onto the Gardner fully, turning back out to Queens Quay West. So it will be positioned very well. But more importantly, the proximity to other infrastructure right here. So if you've been to the rooftop, or if you've just sold the other buildings nearby previously, right? I mean, those other towers for the water club are about 20 years old now, right? So, in the resale community, in neighboring towers, there is existing infrastructure there. So a big question for a lot of people that maybe haven't gone down there in the recent weeks is how close this tower is going to be to those buildings. So when you see from the 8th floor, you will see exactly where those buildings are. There's going to be no surprises. It's not going to be one of those situations where, there's maybe vacant land that they're going to tear down. There's nothing that's going to be built around that. So there's existing towers. You have Queens Quay West, Harbourfront Center, that cannot be further developed. You have existing mid-rise, much lower towers on the side, already developed. And the north is entirely clear view. So what you see is actually what you're going to get. This is the last piece of land in the landmark community that can actually be built. So I think it's very important to actually see what that's going to be. This weekend is going to be the last chance where you will get the actual views. The pictures do not do it justice. So here you of course see, kind of your closest connection point to, whether it's 10 York, 1 York to your underground path. In my opinion, it's much closer than what it looks like on this map. But you will see that to scale on the rooftop. And of course, more really great photos. So this is the west view. So going this way, it's the west. You have your south and your north, but truly these are what the views look like. So you can see they're very protected, right? Everything is a much lower level in proximity to the building. So this is one of the 3 very simple key plates that are going to be in this building. So here, all the 2-bedroom units are your south-facing Lakeview units. North-facing are your assortment of 1-bedroom, 1-bedroom and den, and we have 1 studio. And then of course, the best for last of 3 bedrooms anchoring both corners, where you really have 3 real sides of views of, north, west, and then whether it's your east or your west exposure. 7 elevators through the building, so definitely very generous and efficient access. There are going to be some floors just to maximize efficiency where there's 4 elevators going to those levels, and then where those 3 are removed, so that makes these 2 2-bedroom units larger. Okay, so you do gain from that. The key plate that's actually on the rooftop is the other key plate. So the difference is that 3-bedroom on the east corner is split into 2 1 plus den units. So really, really efficient. You will see that it's very thoughtful. So because this ended up being 1 tower, the units are very rectangular, very wide, very shallow. So what that actually does is maximize your views. Every bedroom has a window for natural light. So there's no interior bedrooms. So to maximize the views, every bedroom has real windows. Every unit has outdoor space, so a balcony. So downtown Toronto, for a 60-story tower, for every unit to have a balcony is actually a really, really great feature, and I would say somewhat rare for every unit to be able to have that. So floor plans, of course, are going to be released closer to the launch date of October 12th, but very much a thoughtfully designed key plate in the floor plans that will follow. Again, really great north views here from the 40th floor. Daytime for me is a really spectacular view, so I do recommend anybody that hasn't been able to go up, or even if you've already been up, bring your clients in this weekend. Like, this is the perfect weather, this is the perfect view for them to be able to see what they could possibly get. So 35th floor, south view, so you can see where some of these towers are, right? Like there's no hiding in terms of what these are. So the towers that are in the front, the water park tower, so basically the series of 3 is 27 stories, 37, 37. Our podium will be a little bit higher, right? So the question is going to be for people purchasing the larger 2 units when they receive clearer views. So I will say, about between 30 and 35, starting from there, is when you're going to start getting total clearance on your south views. But nevertheless, even in the other here where you can see this, I'm going to go back to the other key plate. All of them are angled so that you can actually, from every south-facing unit, you're not directly onto the building at any point. Every unit will still have a lake view, regardless of the floor that you're on. So, important dates. So here we previously had earlier views of the rooftop, and you guys will get all of the updated versions of this, but we do have the portal already where you can access all of this material and more, and all of the social media pieces. But certainly we've been privileged to be able to share this information with you in the earlier portion of our schedule for presentations. Our official launch date, October the 12th. There will be a couple of other events following today, leading up until the launch. And then, so right now our gallery is not yet available on site. So certainly we will have a sales gallery soon after the launch date. A more permanent location. There will be a temporary location set up before that. But to make it accessible in between, following the launch date, we will have open houses, for a north venue and a central location. For example, the north venue is likely going to be in Markham, where you bring your clients. We show them what we have, right? And really walk them through that. And of course, sales signings will begin probably a day or 2 after the actual launch date. So we will, of course, have more information to share. Most importantly to you guys is pricing, deposit, the actual floor plans, and the incentives, of course, which we understand. It will be as competitive as possible, for the market right now, for downtown Toronto, what we have seen in terms of pricing on the market, all of that has been considered. So we are going to be priced well to sell, and certainly with your efforts. 902 units, this is a large building. Our objective is to sell much of that in this year. And when I say this year, really we're talking about launch date of October the 12th till maybe the first week of December. That's really going to be your runway time, right? In terms of like marketing, your client push, all of that, that's going to be the prime time. So I will say, get your clients ready, ask us the questions when more information becomes available, but get them ready for that. Any questions for Q and a Temple or Boulevard Q?
I don't have any other question from my side. You guys. So
Okay, great.
parking this way, you do
Parking.
parking here, right?
Yeah, so there will be generous parking. So it's a very large tower, so obviously it's going to be based off of eligible purchasing units, likely the larger 2 bedrooms and up. I would say about maybe 200 plus units of parking units available for sale. So these will all be the underground components. So yes, differently from some of the downtown Toronto buildings that either had no parking or very minimal parking at the very least, or maybe their eligibility is for 3 bedrooms and up, you know, we will have generous parking offerings for the clients that want it. Okay, any other questions? Well, I'll be a key point of contact for this project. Sarah, of course, will be for 8 Temple, and then our other colleagues for Boulevard Q for Mattamy that came out yesterday. So we'll all work really closely together. You guys will have more questions, I'm sure, as the key information comes out. But yes, let's definitely, you know, work towards these launch dates to prepare your clients, right? There's going to be a great event for 8 Temple following this, you know, next week. So that will be a great one, and it will be a really big one for this downtown Toronto as well, closer for October the 12th.
More events, just you want to hear.
I know, more events. So, but these ones mark in your colleagues too. I'm going to hold you to those
Yes.
ones. Yes. So thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Let's do a group photo.
Yeah.
Sure, yes.
I'll get one.
So we'll do them separate.
Yeah.
So Sarah will take one of just of us Q, and
Yeah.
I'll take you guys for 8
Okay, I'll ask someone to take a photo.
Yeah, great. I'll take this one for Q, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna get for her phone. Can you use your phone? 'Cause
Yeah.
those are the ones that are dropped. So many. Okay.
Thank you.
Should we have the light on or off? What's the best
Maybe
to
off,
see?
so
Yeah.
Okay, sure.